Hi guys, good afternoon. I hope everybody's doing super. It's Taylor again, Mr. Taylor, Mr. T, Mr. Cool, whatever you want to call me. We're here in Nicaragua, and today we have something really cool that we're going to talk about. Today we're going to talk about monkeys. Monkeys are incredible, and they are all over here. In fact, we have a group or a family, if you want to call them, that live, probably a couple of them, that come to these places through this resort all the time. We're going to talk a little bit about them. Now, we have three main monkeys that I've seen here in Nicaragua. We have the white-faced capuchin, which I've actually never seen in the wild. We have the Jeffrey spider monkey, which is an incredible monkey, and we've seen those pretty recently actually. And then we have our howler monkey. Now, there are 15 species of howlers all over the world. We're going to talk about one specifically known as the golden mantled howler. And the golden mantled howler, now they call him the golden mantled howler because of his mantled hairs, for his long guard hairs. And they're called guard hairs because that's what protects them when they're swinging through the trees and jumping through the trees. That's what protects them from cuts and scrapes. And we call them those long guard hairs. And he's got these really long, almost golden guard hairs, and that's why they call him the golden mantled howler. These guys are found as far north as Guatemala and all the way down to Panama. They're called howler monkeys, well, because they howl. I can do an impersonation if you'd like, Lauren. Should I? Yeah, I'm going to do one. They go. So that's kind of what they sound like. It's because they have a hollow bone right near their vocal cord, which amplifies their sound. They can amplify it for up to 3 miles in the jungle. So that helps them, and we're going to talk about why they need that vocal cord, because they're not super active all the time. Now, they can call home anywhere from about 25 to over 100 acres can be their homes, and they often use the same paths to travel. Now, one of the cool things is that path is actually right in front of our house. So that path is really cool because we get to see it all the time. Now, because they cover so much space, they are typically not a defensive species. We've seen all sorts of other life and planet Earth where you see all the monkeys that are all constantly arguing with one another, but the howler monkeys aren't like that. They're not a defensive species because we're going to talk about that in just a second too. But we rarely see them fighting. In fact, I've never seen them fighting. Sometimes you'll see them tussle and push one another, but they're never fighting each other. Except, and there's also another rule that I've read in books that says that howler monkeys do not use tools as other monkeys that use rocks to open up certain nuts and things like that. The howler monkeys don't do that. However, there is a story that I read of a howler monkey that took a long stick and used it as a club and got mad at a two-toed sloth and went over and hit him. So just because certain things say that these guys aren't defensive and these guys aren't aggressive and these guys don't use tools, sometimes things can change, right? And science is constantly changing. That's what we know about them. But mostly howlers, or going back to it, mostly howlers are a bit lazy. They're a bit lazy because they have a folivorous diet, which means that they eat mainly leaves, not only, but mainly different leaves. They have certain eyesight that can actually detect, as different from other monkeys because their eyesight can actually detect, as a three-tone eyesight, that can actually see that leaves are getting older. The older leaves get I can't remember if it's the older or younger, but it has different toxicity levels. So they are able to see the different leaves and know which ones they should eat and which ones are actually going to make them sick. They also eat fruits and pretty much other things that they can get their hands on, but all herbivore. And they want to save their energy. Because they're only eating these leaves, they want to save their energy. Now, going back to why they howl because they don't have to be so close to communicate. They can still be pretty much that lazy monkey and communicate with somebody 3 miles away without having to get up, knock on their branch and say, hey, I told you to move out of here. They can just yell at them from 3 miles away and that guy will get the idea to move out of the way. But so they spend most of their day snoozing or eating and snacking around. Now they typically live in groups of about 10 to 15. However, they can be seen in groups of up to 40 howlers, which is incredible. Research says that howlers don't associate with other species. However, this is wrong because in our monkey tree, which is just on the other side of the resort, we actually see where howlers and spider monkeys are sharing the same branch and eating nearly the same leaves off the same tree, which is really incredible. They're running over each other and jumping over each other. They'll scream at each other a couple times, but they're not aggressive toward each other, which is pretty incredible. Now, another thing that we're going to talk about are babies, because we've seen a ton of babies lately. And the locals say that this is a certain time of year, but actually they can have babies pretty much year-round because the temperature's pretty much the same. It's like 85 degrees year-round, especially right here. So they can have these babies year-round, but there's a certain time of the year where all the babies seem to come up. In fact, the locals will say that they go off and they don't see them for a little while, and then they'll come back with babies. And the babies are kind of cool. You can generally tell how old the baby is by what position they are on the mom. So if the baby is on the mama's tummy, then it's about anywhere from brand new to about 3 weeks. And then as the baby starts to grow up and starts to get a little bit more adventurous, that baby will actually start to transfer and get in different parts of the mom. So sometimes you'll see her on its back. Sometimes you'll see her kind of crawling on her head and kind of picking at different things. And so you'll know that it's over 3 weeks old if it's on its back. Now around 3 months, or sometimes a little bit sooner, the mom will typically start to kind of push that monkey off onto his own branch and let him start to make his way and trying to learn how to climb and be a better climber, which is kind of interesting. But they do say that the mom on big branches will actually come back and grab the monkey to put on her so that she can jump over big branches and big gaps, which is kind of neat. The mama always cares about her baby until that baby gets a little bit older, and both the male and female of the species will eventually be neglected by that family. And so that means that when they get to a certain age, they'll kind of just kick that monkey out, and that monkey will have to go and find another group, which is pretty incredible. That means that nearly all the groups that you see aren't of that same original family, that they're different, because their family will eventually kind of push them out, and they'll have to find a new group that's not of their family. Now, going back to these monkeys, sadly, only about 30% of baby monkeys will actually live to make it to a year old. And then after that time, they'll get a little bit bigger and they'll get a bit more mature. And that's mostly because of predation of cats and all sorts of different animals. Anything that can pick these guys off, snakes, anything that can find them alone, they'll pick these monkeys off. And so only 30% of these monkeys will actually make it to about a year old. But the crazy part about that, if it does make it, then it can live to about 25 years old. So some of these monkeys that we've seen around here are going to be about 25 years old. Isn't that incredible? Now these howler monkeys are an incredible species, and we love them. But we always need to be aware of what we do to the environment, what we do to the animals around us, right? So going on Mr. Taylor's kick again, making sure that we're responsible, making sure that we understand where our trash goes, and making sure that if we see trash, we pick it up. Simple things like that, because these monkeys get very curious, just like our fish in the ocean. And when they get curious, they're going to try something. They're going to figure what it is. They're going to pick it up. I've seen monkeys pick up trash and try and sniff it, try and play with it, and they've even bit it. And I've personally seen that. So let's just make sure that we pick up our trash and that we take care of our planet, we take care of our environment, because it's one special place. We love it here. We love seeing all these monkeys. We will see you guys next week. If you have any questions, write them in the comments. I'll be happy to answer them if I can. If what we can't answer, we'll figure out. But like I said, we've seen a lot of monkeys here. One of the main paths that they come down is right in front of our window, right in front of our bed. So usually in the mornings I'll just wake up and look out and I'll see all sorts of monkeys. They like to come down, they like to drink from our pool, they like to jump around. It's just really fun to see them right in front of our house. So we love the monkeys, we love this place, we love our earth. What an incredible place it is. And we look forward to coming back and having spring classes with you guys. We look forward to coming back and having an incredible summer with some new camps that me and Ms. Ling have designed, and we're super excited to launch them. We're super excited that you're going to be super excited, and we're going to have dissections of all different types. It's going to be an incredible summer. So we look forward to seeing you guys. We look forward to coming back, but until then, we will see you next Tuesday.